there was a lot of noise coming.
Okay, there we go.
Solomon, welcome. He's coming in from you. He's coming in from the potential new work we have in Addis Ababa. He's been in theological education for a long time, and I certainly will let him introduce himself in a second. Um, let me just check. All right, Jack, would you like to let's just tidy up now. What would be the steps then to make sure that everybody gets their to follow? What is the practical step for everybody to follow up to get their MINTS country coordinator email address?
Okay, so they've been created. What we need to do is Michael Farrand, who set it up, he will just need, or give me the authority, and we can have that discussion, Julian. But uh, uh, an invitation needs to be sent to each one of the gentlemen's existing email addresses, which then invites them to register this email. So it's very straightforward. You'll receive an email to set up a new password. It's like opening a new Gmail address. And then once you've set your password, you will be able to log in as you would log into email. So if I could share my screen, maybe to illustrate, it's going to be easier. So I can show you guys.
Jumbo,
Um,
we've got you twice for some reason, and I'm getting some feedback from somewhere. I'm not quite sure where the
okay,
feedback's coming from.
that's fine. I've got that.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Jack, off you go.
Okay, so I'm going to share my browser here. Can you guys see that? Okay, so this is Google, as we know it, and usually, we would sign in here. So this is now after you have registered. So you'd receive the email with your new email address. It will take you to a Google page, and it will just ask you to change your password. And then once you've changed your password, you can then do the following. So it's very simple to do. You would just say sign in. Now I'm already signed in here, but I'm just going to click here, this use another account, so that I can show all the steps to you guys. So this is my email, but yours will be the CC Zambia or CC Sierra Leone, and you just say next, and then the password that you created. I hope I can remember my password. uh, I just put this here. That's got the caps lock on. There you go. Okay, so next, and then you should log in. Okay, so what you'll see now is you'll get the Google again, but you will be over here. You will have this little icon saying you are signed in. Now you are signed into Google with your mints.edu account. So these buttons over here are all the Google apps. So if you click on that, you can go to your mail. So you can go to Gmail. So we can click this over here, and it'll take you to your emails as the mints.edu emails. You can go here again, and you can use anything that you like here as the mints.edu site. So what I'm actually firstly going to show you, there are many other things here, but for today, it's just the calendar. So you click on calendar, and what we see here is, obviously, for those of you who use Google Calendar, it'll be familiar, but it's just a very simple calendar. I've already created the Mints Africa calendar for us. So you see here today, I've actually created this event for us. So we are Friday the 5th, and we're currently busy with this event. And if you create the event, you can also invite people to that event. We can actually have if you guys are not familiar with the use of Google Calendar, there are many YouTube videos that show it, but it's very simple. It's not really difficult. Um, so this is Google Calendar. I've already created the Mints Africa combined calendar, and I just want to show you that quickly. So this is the website, which I'm still working on, and you guys know this. But at the bottom, I've actually put that calendar here for us. So it doesn't look right yet, but it's there, and it gives us our meeting that's showing. So it's on the page already. And if there's something that you guys need to put on there, you'll be able to do so. I just need to make sure that the restrictions are off for you guys to use that. If we go here again, every time you want to go to a different part of the system, you just click on these buttons over here, and you'll see over here is a section called Drive. Okay, so you can just click on that, and it will take you to your Google Drive. Each of you have 30 gigabytes to use in Google Drive, so it's quite a lot. So you can use that as you wish, and then you can populate it with whatever you need in terms of your requirements. So I don't know, maybe most of you have seen Google Drive before. So I've just loaded two files on here, the copy of our July meeting, as well as the chapters with the book that Julian said that we should talk about. So just for an example, and over here I've created a folder for myself, which is Min South Africa, and yeah, I can you can basically just drag and drop files into here and use it as you wish. The other place that's really nice is um, shared drive. So what happens here is I've already created a Mints Africa shared drive for us, which anything that we want to share with the entire Mints Africa group, all of the leaders of the centers, we can give them access to this. I add them here, and then whatever we need, like for instance, I put these two in there. We already have. So we already have 9 people in here. If you look at this, you see, for instance, here, Abraham Kogo already has Kenya cc at mints.edu. It's already there. Isaac already has Uganda cc at mints.edu. Is already populated. We just need to get these. Levi is there, Cameroon cc, etc., etc. So you've already got the rights to view everything that is in here. I'm going to change the rights there as well, so that you can even edit and add and take away if you need to. But this is a shared drive, so we share it between all of us, and it is different from your drive, which no one but you can see, or the people that you share it with. So maybe you have your sub schools that are under you in your territories. You can make folders for each maybe district or territory or school, and you can share that with the leadership in that specific school, and you can have them only work on that, and only they will see that. You can give them permissions to do so. um, so this is very nice. It's a very easy system to use, and like I said, because we've got the whole Google suite that Mints has provided, you can use Google Meet. It's the same like Zoom, and there are many other things that I'm not going to share now. But you can even create forms, use Google Docs, etc., etc. But for today, just the calendar is important, as well as Google Drive and Gmail. So hopefully, if we can just get Michael to maybe or give me the permission to be able to send it to you guys and get you guys to just register on there and change your passwords, you will be able to do this. Um, so yeah, are there any questions that you guys have concerning? Because it really is, it should be straightforward, and easy to use.
Well, let's ask how many of you guys are using it at the moment or know or are using stuff like this at the moment. I'd just be interested. Just raise your hands or something. Not the hand, because Levi's already got a hand up for needing to converse.
Yeah.
But
Has anybody used Google Drive in the past, or Dropbox, or something like that, or maybe OneDrive?
so some of you guys are already using,
Solomon's used it. Levi, I
yeah.
know you've also used it in the past. But what was your question, Levi?
Solomon's, yeah.
I think all the means courses on the website are on a drive. So one way or the other, we've used it.
True,
That's
exactly.
absolutely true.
Yep.
Yeah.
You
You
have
nailed it.
used it in a different way without privileges of being
Yeah,
able to get into a
to use it.
private drive.
But the nice thing is now
Yeah.
you have your own personal drive for Cameroon, and you can now set it up like you want to set it up, and you can have all your schools in folders, and they can have different accesses to people. And yeah, if you structure it right, it's really really good to use.
Mm.
Okay, so some
Oh,
of you, it'll
let
be
me
new.
find out. Let me
Yeah,
find
go
out
ahead.
something. Julian, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Jack, let me say, if I'm like working on admission files, application files, is it possible I could just put a folder there, application documents, get it shared with Shirley, and don't need to send her documents all the time?
Yes,
The
it's
answer to that is twofold. Yes, in theory you can, but number two, only do it the way, I mean, do it the way that we do it. Shelley will tell you what she's happy with. And the
yeah.
reason for that, I mean, Shelley and I share drives all the time with your guys' stuff. So once Shelley's processed it, Shelley shares it with me, but we use Dropbox. And I actually prefer to use Dropbox, but I don't want to get too many systems running. And number two, the system you use with Shelley needs to be agreed with Shelley. Okay. That's
Okay.
because I don't want to change the systems in the middle here and things like that.
I
Okay,
think,
that's fine.
yeah, Julian. I think we've used with Shelley in past. I must ask Madeleine, but I think we have used Google Drive in the past. I'm not 100% sure. I know we've used Dropbox, but this should be easy to implement. But
It, it,
again,
yeah,
we need to keep the admin. We can't really um, make it too laborious.
right. And so the thing about this, listen, this is all about it's learning curve to save time and whatever, right? So if yes, you can share using it. At the moment, I actually prefer Dropbox. It's a slightly different system, just because there are a few small things I can do with Dropbox that I don't necessarily do with other things, right? Um, but yeah, yeah, no problem with the no problem with
Mm.
this.
Yep. But
And then we can make this work.
Absolutely, but for I think the purposes that we have currently, this system should work fine. If you get registered and you've changed your email address, or you've changed your password, apologies, you can then go and play around and see and learn. That's usually how I figure these things out. But if you're stuck, there are fantastic YouTube videos that are very simple. They're like 2 or 3 minutes long. They're not long at all, and they show you step by step how to use it. And if you're then stuck, just give me a WhatsApp or a call or whatever, and we can just quickly run through something. But it's very very user friendly, so you shouldn't struggle too much. It gets a little complicated when you assign uh, permissions to people. Say, for instance, these people can only view it, and these people may view and edit things. I would suggest, if you are sharing files with other coordinators or with students or whatever, that they can only view it. Otherwise, someone can just delete stuff, and it can be very very challenging then. And the other thing is, if you have a shared file, make sure that it is backed up so that if someone does delete something, that you have another copy of it. But those are small things that you learn during just in using it. But other than that, it should be very, very straightforward. I like easy. I like straightforward. I don't want to think too hard about things. It must just work. That's what I like. So, and this works well. It does take a bit getting used to, but it is a good system.
Peace be with you all. I am from Addis Ababa.
Pleased
I
to
am a
meet you,
strange one.
brother. Pleased to
Thank-
meet you. We haven't met yet,
No, I am a new
but I've been
person.
talking to your colleagues, right?
Yeah, I delegate
Um,
Mr. Solomon and Oliver to talk with you.
Yeah,
And
he's our
unfortunately,
friend. Zach,
yeah,
he's our
yes,
friend.
yes.
He's
I
our
figured.
person.
I
His
figured
name
that.
is
I figured that.
yes,
Um,
Oliver.
I'm gonna ask
Oliver,
you.
I think.
I'm gonna ask
Go
you
ahead.
if we can hold just for a couple of minutes. I'm very glad you're on the call, just to tidy up the things that we're doing here, and then I'm gonna get you guys to introduce yourselves, if that's okay.
thank you.
Right?
Yeah,
Thank you. Thanks
possible.
for getting on the call. I'm looking forward to that. So Jack's absolutely right. Easy is best. Nobody likes complicated, and we can do a whole lot of things with the stuff that we've done. So yeah, I don't want to add anything to that, except for to say that we've just got to now close these loops up, because it's always closing the loops, right?
Yeah. The next step will be now just to make sure, and I'll email Michael, and I'll CC you in, Julian, just to ask him, to share the Mints EDU email addresses to everyone's current email address. You will receive the email, and it will ask you to log on with the new email address. It will then ask you to change your password to something that you prefer, and then you should be able to log on as I've just logged on. You will have access to your calendar, you will have access to your drive, and a whole suite of other things. But for us at the moment, the drive and the calendar, that is most important. And yeah, and then we can go from there.
Great. So as Jack said, there's a whole host of things that we can do, but I want to make sure we do the basic stuff well first, and then, like Jack just said. So the calendar, Jack, can you put something up on the calendar for us right now, just to show everybody how easy it is?
I can do.
I will be doing a graduation. I will be doing a graduation. Isaac, where is Isaac? You can come back on again.
Yeah.
Isaac. So we have the graduation on Friday. Is that correct? I have to check my calendar.
Yes, please. Yeah.
We have the graduation. I have these on my desk. I was showing this to Isaac yesterday. I think many of you have seen these before, that are mailed out from Eric. Yeah, you've all seen them, right? You know what that is? It's the inside is all
Yes.
I'm not going to pull it out. Inside is all
Yes.
the degrees. Abraham knows.
Yeah.
So so we can put that up on Friday. We have a graduation with at
Friday,
whatever
Friday
time.
the 12th.
Friday the 12th.
Okay.
At 10.
So
Sorry,
10
at
a.m.
10, well,
on
10
Friday.
Uganda time. So we didn't have to say
Yeah.
10 local or 10 Uganda. Well, it'd have to be 10 Uganda time. We have a coordinators meeting on the 4th, on the day before that. Hang on.
Yeah,
no,
on
let me-
Thursday 11th.
Yeah, yes.
So it's easy to do. So you just go to the specific date that you'd like, and you can double click on there, and we can just say, was it Uganda?
Yep. Graduation.
Yeah.
2021.
There we go. And
On 12th.
you can put the location.
Location.
Here. Let me just see. It's not an all day. If it's an all day event, say for instance you have a retreat or something, but 10 a.m. to maybe let's say 1 o'clock.
To 2.
2.
Yeah.
2 o'clock. There we go. 2 p.m.
Yeah.
You can even make something that repeats. So, but this is obviously does not repeat. But say you have a prayer meeting every Friday
On
morning
11th.
something like that. So it's over here. You can now add the location if you want. You can put notifications here, but we can just say here Uganda graduation notes. So you can put any notes or anything that you'd like over there. You can add maybe a PDF document or something there if there's anything that you'd like extra, and save, and it should show there, and everybody who has access to this, who it's shared with, they can see it. So for instance, if we go back to the Mint site, if I just refresh it over here, it should be over there. So it just pulls through to there. So so all of you will be able to do this. You will be able to put your events on this calendar, so all of us know if you have a graduation or if there's something happening. You can also create your own calendar. For instance, let's say you want to add a calendar over here that's not shared with the whole Mints group. Maybe you just want to share it with your students or your
Let's
country coordinator.
Jack, let's share it with let's get Isaac to share it with just the Uganda people.
Okay. So what we
Because
can do
let's
is,
say he's got a
so
Sorry, go ahead.
what I would then need, or what you would need, let's do that. Let's say over here, you can edit that again. It just wants to tell me something. So we can edit it here, and we can add guests. Okay. So so what you need is just the guests' email addresses. You know, where they, if they want to if they want to attend, you have to have their email address, and you can just put the guests in there. So let's just put Jack in here, maybe. There we go. We can put Levi is invited. We can put Abram, you're invited. But we can also put guests that are not in the Mint system as well. We can put them as well, and they will then receive a link to this event, and it will then sync with their system if they have one, or they will just receive an email concerning the event, and they will also get notifications. So if you want to share it with specific people, you just add the guests over there, and you can also change permissions if you like. They can invite other people, but maybe you don't want them to invite other people. You just want to be in control of it, so you can then just put that off, but they can see who else is coming. Maybe someone is not happy with someone else coming, so they want to see if there's someone coming that they don't like or like. But there are permissions that you can give here.
Okay.
And yeah, you can then just save it again. Would you like to send emails to them? And you can send, so you guys are going to get emails again now about the Uganda graduation. And every time you change that, people are notified. So once you've done one or two of them, it's really easy. And the other nice thing is, on your smartphone you can download the app as well, the Google Calendar app. And if you log in on your phone, on your mobile phone, into the mints.edu address, you'll even get it on your phone as notifications as well, which is very nice.
Right. So Jack's setting this up. We don't want to overload it with stuff. Obviously, we're right, but we're thinking about things like graduations. We're thinking about things like when trips or important trips or teaching is going to occur. And remember what we started this whole conversation with, which is as video connection gets better, we want to be able to invite other people on video. So for example, I'm teaching hermeneutics to the guys in Zambia right now. I have my next course, I should be putting it up actually. My next time that I'm teaching hermeneutics, let me pull my calendar up because I know I looked at this the other, is the 6th of December.
So
So
you can do that. You can log into your mints.edu address. You have access to this, and then when you go onto the Mints Africa calendar, you can put the hermeneutic slot in there. You can maybe add the Zoom link if anyone else wants to zoom in, and yeah, and that will just
it's available.
foster. Yeah,
And that's what I really do want us to that's probably where the biggest thing is that we can leverage, right? So when somebody's doing something somewhere, I know Craig at some point will be teaching a little bit about writing. And when Craig is teaching a little bit about writing and things like that, then at that point, hey, I'd like everybody to log in, and I'll ask Craig, because we don't want to do things twice, right? But even so, we will record what we're doing. And then once we've recorded what we're doing, you'll have access to it. And again, Jack will make sure we all know exactly where the access is
yes.
on YouTube, so you
So
can
yeah,
follow it.
so in effect, I mean, each of you also have access to YouTube through your mints.edu access, or your login, but we still have the Central Africa Mints YouTube page, and if there's something that you guys want to record, want to upload, maybe it was a graduation. Uh, Uganda's going to have the graduation. Any video that you take, put it onto the G drive, and share it with me. I can then upload it to YouTube, and we can put that on our website. And yeah, when we do more of this, it's just going to grow and grow and grow. So it's all available to us.
Right. Okay. So what do we need? So now this is what we've got, but I know what we need to do. We need to make sure that every single one of us starts to close that gap, right? Michael's on, so we're gonna get Michael on in a second. But how do we close the gap so that we make it all work? So what our focus, I think, is going to be putting things onto the calendar are going to be things like graduations and things, and that'll come up on our general public calendar. So that's really encouraging for everybody. And then in addition, we've got, graduations and then teaching opportunities. So those teaching opportunities then will be available for anybody running off the Zoom network. They'll obviously be structured towards that local class. So if you're sitting in from a different area and you want to sit in from a different area, that's fine, but you're not the primary, you know what I mean? The primary group is the group that we're dealing with there. And you can sit in and do it. And I think that over time, sorry, go, yeah, Jack?
No, I was just saying the nice thing is if we schedule it on a calendar that everyone can see, maybe you did not know that Dr. Zug was going to do hermeneutics. So you're like, goodness, I want my students to see that as well. Let's arrange so that we can also log in and view that as well. So it really does it foster a whole kind of like a team or a network effect, or someone like we did earlier this year with the Greek classes with Levi in Cameroon. um, Maybe someone in Kenya sees it, or Sierra Leone or wherever, they also want to log in, they want to use that opportunity, and then they can do so. So if we know what's coming, and if we know what's going to happen, that's going to encourage all of us to say, listen, but let's all connect and watch together, and that could work well.
Right, absolutely. That was where I was going to go. I think to start with, we just need to get the hang of the calendar and people can drop in. And once we see what the possibilities are, then we can start scheduling multi-country. There's nothing stopping us scheduling multi-country things and venues from different places. So that would be a really good thing when we get there, right? And I think that's going to be something which is going to play a little part, not a huge part, but it will play, I don't know, 20, 30% part if we can, and make it actually happen in that particular way. So our practical steps, going back a little bit, and Michael's on, and I'm going to get Michael after we've introduced the guys from Ethiopia. I'm going to get Michael to speak a little bit about how we close the link with the country coordinators, making sure we've all got the logon coordinators, get you all really happy with getting in and out of the Africa website and linking in there. And then I wanted to just get some feedback from all of you too. As I was thinking about it this week, I think this is the way that we need to go. I just think that we might find that we don't have the level of internet connection that's going to make it that easy for it to happen that quickly. So I think we need to be realistic and say, we're forcing a direction, but I don't want to force a direction too fast because we might not be there, right? So how do you guys see, let me just ask a couple of you. Pascal's on right now. Good to see you, brother. You know, how often or how would you see us being able to use the video for better for better multi-center, say in Zambia, teaching? I know that we've done it with the masters guys, and the first one never worked properly because everybody's trying to fiddle with getting themselves organized. The second one's better. By the time you're on the third one, now everybody's actually functioning properly and we can do the lectures and it's going well. It just takes a little bit of time. Pascal, do you think it's realistic to try that in the circumstances once, maybe next year or twice next year, to try to get a multi-center video conferencing try? I don't want to try too much, but I know we need to push and see if we can do it.
I'll try to find out from, thank you very much, Dr. Zach. I'll try to find out from, you're able to hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. I'll be able to discuss with the coordinators if they'll be able to, if they're able to have the, they'll be able to access the internet. Then from there, we'll be able to give you the feedback. But I'm assured of, I think 4 or 5 centers, which can do that. I'm assured of 4 to 5 centers, which are very much ready to do that. And I think it is workable. Let me try to find out from other centers, but I'm assured of 4 to 5 centers, okay, very much assured, which can do that.
You know, maybe what we need to do is start with just a coordinators meeting where I join you guys for a coordinators meeting over Zoom, okay, rather than a full lecture, right? And that way we start and we're introducing the idea and we're moving it forwards in that particular way. I think that's probably a way. And that was the task I left all of you guys. And if we haven't going to get there, Abraham, what is your understanding? Do you think we could run something? I know we can, but with Thika, with Eldoret, with Ziwa, and with as many, and Nakuru, do you think we could run something like that there, even if we start with a coordinators meeting to talk about doing this?
We can do so. That one can work, especially with the coordinators. We can do that. It can work, okay, even in Thika, because we have. In Thika, we will be having that Wi-Fi. So there is Wi-Fi in the hotel that will be. So it could be possible for us to set a Zoom link and then maybe have that. That will be okay.
I'm thinking more not from the hotel, not this trip, but I'm thinking from the future that we sort something out
Yeah,
that
that
we
can
can
work,
start getting this concept out. Look, it just takes time. I've done it a few times with people. It just takes time to get the concept out, get people logging on, get them to make sure that they're, you know, that the meetings are important, that they know that it's happening. And when they begin to see what they can do. So we'll maybe when we're on this trip, we'll talk about this. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to set up with you once we're finished, and I'm going to go and I'm going to forget. So I'm going to ask you guys to help me to do this. I come back in December, and in December and into early January, I will be available, and I would like to set up country coordinators meetings like we're talking about over each, just per country, right? So help me to do that, and I will be back through December. I'm probably flying to the UK on Christmas Day, actually, as it stands. That's not Ethiopian Christmas, because they have a different Christmas day in Ethiopia, right?
Sure.
It's I've got other brothers which have got, you know, in different parts of the world, and they do the same thing. But the point is, actually, when I'm in England, it's even easier because I'm on the same time zones as you guys are. That's the only point I was going to make, right? So I would like each one of us, we need to make a note of this, each one of us at each country, let's try and do the first meeting in December when I get back. And just to talk to everybody to make sure that they've got the vision. And at that point, I would also like us to have all the feedback in place for Jack. I don't know how many of you sent Jack the updated information about where your centers are and all of that sort of stuff. I don't know, because I just haven't seen it and I haven't had a chance to chat to Jack beforehand. But we do need that updated information. So we're going to aim for each country, if you can, please. And Jumbe, let's do that with you, and we'll try to do it with Domingo and Aristides. Okay, so that's going to be the Mozambique meeting. Okay, we'll make that the Mozambique meeting. Okay,
yeah, thank you very much.
And so we need to copy everybody in, and that will be our Mozambique meeting. So let's try and aim for that for when I get back in December, and we'll have a series of meetings where we're just going to make sure we get through all the problems, make sure it's all done, and also make sure that each one of you, please, then we need you as part of this process of contacting everybody and working it out with everybody. We need you to be speaking to the coordinators to see what you can do. I am running the one in Zambia for the master's students purely off people's cell phones. They're not running off laptops, they're just running off cell phones. So it's quite possible to do, not a big deal. It's quite possible to do if they have the cell phones. If, on the other hand, they want to join with laptops and stuff, and that's where that task that you guys were set, and we're not going to have a chance to follow up on it today, just because we're already talking for a while. The task that you were set was isolate, identify all of your various centers, send that to Jack, start working on their connection levels. Okay, Jumbe, I know you have to go. Blessings to you. Start working on your connection levels, the connections, so that we can start having in-country meetings in December, if possible, which will move everything forward. And then I have a hard data in front of me that I can maybe come back. And then if we need to try and get extra laptops or something like that, we can see what we can do, okay? Does that sound like a plan for everybody? I know with Samuel, it's easy. You've only got one center, so Samuel's easy.
Yes, yes.
And with the new guys, we'll set that up, the same guy with the Ethiopia. Samuel, for you, would it be interesting for you to see if you could introduce the idea to some of the other dioceses that you guys have in Tanzania?
Yes, I have been doing so. We are now having a new center in Iringa. Iringa is another diocese, but also in Mbeya. We are working with someone who called Benito, who has been admitted with means for master's degree. So we are expanding here in Tanzania. We are spreading, and we are having another center near Morogoro, which is called Msowelo, where we run Swahili Mint courses.
That's fantastic. And you know, you've got Abraham if you need extra lecturers and things like that. So once we get this process hammered out and make sure it's absolutely hammered out, once we get the process hammered out, then we can make this, we can make it run. So that's fantastic, Samuel. I haven't spoken to you for a while, so it's good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you.
Good to see your face.
Thank you.
All right, so that's our task, and I'll write this down in an email. It's the same real task that we had to try to get this running for December as we go forward. I think that's realistic, and we'll then try and also get this put on calendars so people can actually see what's happening on the Google Calendar and things like that. So, right, let me stop for a minute. I need to ask our brother, welcome to our brother. I actually haven't met our brother from Ethiopia yet, formally. We're hoping to open a new center. He may well have, there we go. We're hoping to open a new center with them in Addis Ababa. We're hoping to have that time with them. So I just would like you to introduce yourself, both to me and to the group. And you'll be working with two other men, one called Oliver and another one, Solomon, whom you saw.
Yeah, my name is Dr. Tamrat Warku. I am just a visionary to start this ITC, Interdenominational Theological College, work with Solomon and Oliver. And I agreed to delegate Solomon and Oliver to deal this process, have partnership with Minutes, and they have done a good job. And today I decide to be part of this meeting and introduce myself with the guys who are working, who are interested to work with us.
Okay.
So it is all, and Solomon and Oliver have been with you and done a great job to have a great connection with you. Thank you so much to welcome me.
Well, thank you. Thank you for, it's good to meet you, brother, and it's good to see you. You know, yeah, Solomon and Oliver have been working hard to try to get this off the ground for January. The person that they need to get closer to for the website would be Jack, which you can see in the blue shirt. There we go, waving to you. I know we've just lost him here. So that's Solomon. At any rate, we lost Solomon, but Jack would be that person, and he'll help you, and we'll integrate it into the Mints Africa website as we go forwards.
Okay.
So that's the one thing that I just wanted to say welcome and hello. We have Michael on. Many of you will not know, have not met Michael, but Michael has been helping with the website. And he is, so Michael, the big thing for these guys is, are you still with us? Are you moving slightly or not? I can't see. It looks like you've phased out, Michael. Are you with us? Nope, he's not with us. We've just lost Michael. That was my big thing. This was his big moment to say, hey, let's get these websites, let's get these web addresses. Let's close that loop on the web addresses. So I don't know what's happened.
I'll chase it up for you, Julian, and then make sure that it's all communicated. And yeah, let's see if we can get it done next week and sorted next week.
That'd be fantastic, guys. I'm going to be on the move, so I can't do anything. My focus is going to be with Isaac. Next week, I value your prayers. We're basically with Isaac for 7 days, and then I'm with Abraham for 7 days, and we value your prayers as we try and catch up. Basically, a lot of it's catch up because we're just catching up from things that are working. Remember that when we're talking about this is for country coordinators, so you will have the websites for country coordinators, and those. So the rest, the stuff we're talking about getting a team together, they won't have Mints email addresses. It'll just be you who have them in addresses, but do think about practical steps. How are we going to make this happen? Can we make this happen? And I again, I was just thinking this morning, in theory we can try and get a whole lot of funds and wire everything up, but it's only going to work if we see it working. You know what I'm saying? We could in theory try and raise a whole lot of funds and try and wire everything up. but I don't want to be chicken and egg, right? So the chicken and egg situation is you know, if we overdo it and we don't get to where we need to be, and we find that it's less useful, then that would be money that could have been better spent in other directions. So I'm trying to find that happy balance between where we are, where we need to be. We're never going to go totally video. That's not our deal. That's not what we want to be. There'll be specialized areas maybe where we've got more video than others. Because at the end of the day, remember, you know, the local centers are to train at local center level. But you'll have all these extra resources, I hope. Okay, so our practical, I'm just looking at that list of things that we have. I don't think we're going to get onto the leadership video much, but for next time, each country coordinator will assess the best way to get the internet to their local centers with data bundles, with modems, or something like that. Because it might be, look, the simplest way to do this is to say, okay, we're going to have a meeting, we'll transfer some funds so that everybody gets data bundles. That might be the simplest way to do a lot of this. If we have bigger ways of doing it, it looks good, but it's not necessarily better. So please work on that for our next meeting that we have coming up. And like I said, I would love to try and have a country coordinator for each country meeting in December where we're working on this thing. That's what we're working on, to see where we really are before we take the step of where we need to go. Jack, have you got anything that you you want to follow up with on this, since it's the website thing? And
Yeah, no, I think the practical or the next steps for us is I need to just communicate with Michael, get everyone sorted out in terms of their mins.edu access to the Google setup. And then basically getting all the information from everybody so that we can complete the website and have that running as well. And yeah, and I think we will definitely have taken a big leap forward if we can end the year on a strong foot. So yeah, looking forward to that.
yeah, I think that this will be really helpful. We're going to try and push it into the end of the year, God willing. I know Christmas is coming and all the rest of it. If you go to Kenya,
I've actually received a few people's different. I have already begun to receive data
Right.
information. So it literally is one email. So and if I have that, then it should be fine.
Okay, Michael, are you back with us? The thing changed with Michael. He doesn't. Guys, do you have anything that you guys want to bring up or just discuss at this point? We should have had that. I should have had a sort of a new business. If there's anything that you want to discuss at this point, generally, I am hoping just to say to our brother in Ethiopia, I'm hoping that I will try to get out to see you in early January. That's the plan. I need to finish those plans, but I'm hoping to try and get out there for early January.
I wish to be in this meeting on time, but unfortunately, I was not. So would you mind to send us the record so that we properly understand today's meeting issue and go forward with those who are participating in this meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we'll do that. I think I like all of you. We hate meetings. Nobody likes meetings for meeting's sake, right? I mean, we just have meetings for meeting's sake. That's the nice thing about Mints. We've avoided meetings for meeting's sake, and we just don't have them. So that's a great thing. But to get us to the point where we're using the Google Calendar well, for example, in December, when we start to have these meetings, we're going to make sure that all of the meetings are registered on the Google Calendar. Right. Okay. So it's going to force everybody, you know what I mean? We're going to force ourselves to try to get there. And once we're there, it'll give us a really good idea as to what's potential. Right. And also, just for most of you, just in your calendars, we do not have a fixed date yet. I apologize, but either the first or the second week of February will be the Mints meeting in Miami. All right. So you guys can come in remotely. You can come in remotely to that meeting via internet. We'll do that. If anybody wants to fund coming in themselves, we don't have funds for that. But if anybody wants to fly into Miami, you're welcome. I'm sorry, I'd love to be able to write. I do wish we could write everybody a check.
Swimming. I'll start swimming now.
Swim.
Be long.
Okay, but just be aware and put it on your general calendar at this particular time. All right. Guys, blessings to you. I gave you the. I don't know. Did anybody have a look at that leadership book? I just want to highlight a couple of the big things, and then I'm going to get off because I want us to try and have short meetings and get things done and move.
Okay.
But the big part about the book that I thought was really helpful, a couple of things, and the whole thing about this guy, and if you've ever seen the guy himself, he's a big, bulky military guy, but it's all about owning something, you know, and basically saying, look, leadership is all about taking responsibility for where we are, and not just for who we are, but even more up and down the chain. So if there's something that somebody above you is not doing that they should be doing, to be able to get hold of them and say, hey, you should be doing this, you know, do it nicely, but do it, okay? And then vice versa, in yourself and in the group that's you're working with as country coordinators, everybody has a clear vision. Now, again, we're going to talk, we'll talk about this later. Maybe I'll make some notes. I've made some notes, but I'd probably have to type them out. You know, everybody have a clear vision and then everybody taking ownership. And the big thing is not to say, hey, this is a problem, it's not working, and blame somebody else, right? If it's not working, the question is, how can we fix it? Okay, God willing, we all like each other. And so we can say, well, okay, this isn't working, so we're honest. And a lot of leadership is courage sometimes, just to be able to say, hey, this isn't working. That's it. It's not, leadership is not actually that difficult. It's not that intellectual in that sense. Once you have the visions, you know, you need courage and then you need humility. And when you're messing up, and I've messed up, and we'll talk more about jobs and roles at a later time, but, you know, to say, look, guys, I'm messing up. And I'm sorry. We've had this, he's not on, Levi isn't on right now, but we've had this big problem with the masters, which we're trying to fix. We're messing up with that. We just don't have enough hours in the day. Our problem at headquarters Mints is we don't have enough hours in the day. And I said this to a group the other day, when I get up in the morning, the first thing that I think is, who am I going to disappoint today because I can't get everything done today? Who am I going to cut off the least of things? Because I can't help everybody. And so, I mean, do pray for us as Mint's organization. You know that a lot of people are transitioning over the next little while. Greg is transitioning out. Neil is transitioning out. Eric is transitioning out. That's almost all of the senior leadership is transitioning out because they're just getting to retirement age. And we desperately, it's going to fall on my shoulders. Some of it's going to fall on my shoulders. A lot of it's going to end up falling on my shoulders. And honestly, it's impossible to do. So just pray for us that God would help and raise up people who have the same sort of vision, who want to do what we do, and be what they should be, which is an administrative staff in Mints in America, which is then supporting you, right? I mean, we're more than an administrative staff, but you know, that's the big thing that really need to do. So, you know, just going back to our discussion, in each question, in each role that we each have in the sort of bigger organization, the question is, what is my responsibility within the organization, right? What is mine going, looking up, looking horizontal, looking down? Who am I supporting? Am I supporting them? If there's failure, why is there failure? And how can we help? So if there is a failure, if a center or something like that, or a country goes down, in my case, if there's a problem and the country goes down, then the question is, why did it happen? What happened? How can I fix it? What did I do wrong? What did I do right? What can I learn from that? And then make wise decisions based on that. And the beautiful thing about Mints, and I think you all know this, you know, one of the things about Mints is we work as closely as partners as we can. You know, in the Bible, it teaches a plurality of elders, right? New Testament churches are filled with a bunch of elders. And they can be called bishops or they could be called elders. Same, just their terminology, same job. And so it's always a team. And I really, you know, I really appreciate that. And that's how I look at everything. You know, we couldn't get it done without the thing that you guys are getting. One last thing then is just to say that I will be trying to contact you guys, and I'll try and get the email out either today or tomorrow with some very specific requests from you guys, and working with you to try and move some things around that I have for you.
Thank you.
I have one last thing that I want to ask you. I've been talking to the Banner of Truth Trust, and you know that I know that the next big block of books are coming. Pascal, they've been in contact with you, right? So the next big chunk of books is coming to you, Pascal. That's correct? You and John are talking, right?
Okay.
Right. So one of the things that came up when I was on a trip, and this is how old this is, one of the things that came up, and I just think about it for now, and we'll pick it up later, was Sunday school material for churches. I think that there's a huge opportunity here for us. This is not a Mints thing. This is just a thing for the churches. So I started to talk to some people about getting books and then dividing the books up so that we could run Sunday school. It's a very simple Sunday school system, but at least you would have something where your teachers are teaching good Bible materials to the children, right? And they came back to me and said, well, we'd have to think about that because we could divide up the big book into pamphlets, which is much more than I was even thinking about, right? I was just thinking about us dividing it up. But I want you to think about, in your minds, think about how you could use this. When I was in Kenya, and this was like 3 years ago, we were with Ronald. Remember, I don't know if you remember, Isaac will remember from Nakuru, right? We were with Ronald and Nakuru, and a guy got up and said, I am responsible, who was in a Mints center. I am responsible. Thanks, Michael. We'll get you back in a second. I'm responsible for 50 churches. And he said, what can you do with Sunday school? And I didn't have anything for him at the time, but it's always been running around the back of my mind. So that's what we just think about that. Tell me by email if you think that it would be a really good thing and you could see it being used. If it's a good thing and you could really practically see it's being used, I will go back to the Banner of Truth Trust with a proposal, because they're very, very, very good to us. And I'll go back to them with a proposal. And Jack, you and I could probably also follow up and see what you've got in your magic box of tricks of books and stuff. I have not, Jack's got all sorts of things as well.
I can find things online. Various ways. I know there were 2 books that you mentioned for the Zambia people, Julian. I must just follow up with you on that as well.
Okay, pop me an email. Again, we've got a list of things. Immediately after this, I'm going to be available for a few hours, and then I'm out for the rest of the evening. And then tomorrow, I'm going to be just preparing. I'll be on email and I'll take emails and that. Sunday is going to be more difficult, and then Monday's more difficult. And then basically from Monday night, US time, I'm going to be flying to Isaac, and I'll be with Isaac. And I don't know what my internet connection is going to be like. I'll have, but just be aware that there's going to be a gap now until end of December or end of November. Right. I'm looking at Michael right now, if he's available, to just talk with you and Jack. I'd like to welcome Michael. Michael's the one who's been beginning to send you guys out email addresses. Jack and I were talking a little bit earlier about the practical steps that we need to get A, the internet addresses, and B, to get the information for each page for the Africa, for Ethiopia now, for Kenya, for Zambia, for all of that. what is the most practical thing between the two of you? Is it to just send it to Jack and Jack forward it to you, Michael? I mean, the information for each page. Just don't want duplication.
Oh no, the page.
Can we talk?
The African
Can we
page.
talk?
Yeah.
Can we talk, Jack, after this meeting?
Yep.
Okay, sure. Thanks. I just didn't want to make things more complicated between the two of you. I'm just talking about those practical things. I know, for example, Levi sent something through to you this morning, Jack, because he copied me in about where the potential centers are in so-and-so, and that information just needs to be shared between the two of you. Michael, would you like to just say hi and talk about closing out what they need to do about their website addresses for the country coordinators?
Okay. Greetings, brothers. It's good to see you. I only get to see text messages from Julian, so it's good to see you again. All of you should have got an email from me. And for instance, Solomon, I sent you one yesterday. Did you receive it?
No, Solomon's not on the call right now.
Oh, okay. Well, I sent Solomon one and Oliver one yesterday. Have the rest of you received your country coordinator email addresses for Mints? All of you should have received it. I sent it out. If you have not, please write to me at mfarrand, Farrand, at mints.edu and let me know.
Michael, pop that into the chat. Would you pop your address into the chat function?
Sure. Hang on a minute.
I know everybody should have it, but you can just take it out of the chat function.
Okay. Every country coordinator has an email address that says the name of the country and then cc@mints.edu. Each of you should have one. If you know, like I said, please send me a note at that address in the chat if you have not, and we'll work that out. Jack, I think you've got 3.
I will do that from Ethiopia.
We're going to have to think about what we do with Ethiopia, because we've got the country coordinator is going to be Oliver, I think, for now. But we want to recognize you guys. So I think what we'll do is we'll put you guys up on the page for Ethiopia, and we'll work out a way to give you guys access onto that page as well, right? So we'll have an Ethiopia page, and we'll help you to build that out.
Okay.
We just the only reason is just to limit the number of people in meetings, so that we just do country coordinators. And it's not because we want to exclude people, it's just because we want to get things done. And if you have it too big, then you just don't get it done. But we will give you access, and we'll think about a way to give you access, brother. Yeah.
Julian, let me you know, I am in the process of redesigning our website so that it gives much more emphasis to Africa. And Jack and I will be working on that merge very soon. But I want you to know that the guys in Central and South America, they have their own website, and they're doing their own thing over there. And actually, from the beginning, it was designed that we would have multiple websites. And so the American, the US type of website is not germane or valid necessarily to other parts of the world. And we're making it much, much easier for you and your folks to get to the courses and to the programs just with a click of a button, rather than hop around to 4 or 5 pages. So if you have any input on what you would like to see or what would be helpful for you and your students, let me know through Jack. That's the best way to do it. You know, that cuts down on the error factor. Any questions?
Great, guys, we've got a target. I want to thank you, Pascal. Pascal's saying he doesn't think he's had one. So
Yeah.
let's just, even if you have, could you resend it? Resend it to Pascal.
Yep.
Just close the loop, guys. I know it's going to take a little while. I know, but we'll close that loop. We've got the calendar. And for December, our big aim for December, the big takeaway is to close the things that we've got to do down and to aim that I would be able to have a call with you and each of your center, as many of your center coordinators as possible, where we discuss this idea of using the video more broadly into each country, right? And we're going to organize that through the calendar. So Samuel's also mentioning that, but we might just send out a blast email all over again, guys. Just send out a blast email. But look for it, and we'll make it happen. All right. All right, guys. I'm gonna leave you with a story about teamwork that comes out of this book. Again, it's all about these guys who are Army guys, and it's a great book. It's a great thing. What they had in this training system, they have guys in boats and they row together, and that's part of what they do. They row together and they have a team leader. And what they had was they let every boat go and run together. And one of the boats was doing well and winning everything on the team thing. And they looked at this, and one boat was coming last. And so they said, what are we going to do to help the guys who are coming last? The leader who was coming last wasn't doing a good job. So they said, okay, what we'll do is they swapped the teams, and they swapped the leader from the last boat and put him into the first boat, and they put the leader from the first boat and they put him into the last boat, right? So they swapped the leader of the boat. And what they were fascinated by was that although the first boat, which was winning all the time, which had the really good leader in it, it didn't lose. It did lose, but it came second. It still did really well. But when they put the best leader in the worst boat at the end, right, the worst boat started leading. And the maxim, the little motto for this was, there are no bad teams, only bad leaders, right? And it was a very interesting, this was something that they actually did. And the point being is what a massive difference wise leadership makes in building the team, right? What a massive wise leadership, and the tone and the attitude, and all of those, right? And so just that was just a short story, and maybe I'll try and maybe take a little clip and you can have a look at that to see this story about what happened, because it was amazing to see. You changed the leader and he changed the team changed, and they suddenly became the best. It was just amazing from the worst, right? So no bad teams are only bad leaders. It's just a good little, that's, partly true, partly not, but it's a good little maxim for us to hold on to. All right. And maybe I'll try and find that story and we can think about that. And the next time we meet, we'll think about the next little lesson from the book. All right. Abraham, sorry, you had something. Nope.
I had nothing. I was writing an email, my email address, and at the end of the day, I raised my hand, but that was not the issue. Okay. So I can say something later on.
Well, I think we're just about closed up, I think, Abraham, for now.
Okay,
I have got some logistics. Go ahead, please.
Jack Martin talked about, when he was talking about Google Drive, he talks about 30 GB. I just want to know, are they free? When I look into that Google Drive, so I already have 30 GB. That will be good if that is okay. So that's what I wanted to know.
Free
Okay.
online storage. Jack is very generous. Jack is very generous.
He's really generous, and I love you for that, Jack.
It's not me, it's Mince, but you get it's 30 gig for free. It's for you.
Wow, that's good. And then I know we are almost coming to an end. First of all, I want to say, Dr. Zach, you're most welcome. Looking forward to see you.
I'll see you at Eldoret Airport, as agreed, right?
Yes, at 7:05, I think so.
I'll
be
check
there
the time. I'll
land.
see you at Eldoret Airport, and I will. I'll get a SIM card. I'll get a SIM card because I can't be without internet. I'll get one with Isaac when I get into Isaac. We'll do that.
Okay.
And I do need to talk to Isaac as soon as we finish this meeting. So I'm going to ask Isaac to stay on the line because he and I have some things we just need to tidy up.
Okay. And I talked to Ronald today. Ronald was from Spain. I think he arrived today. He had been in Spain.
Okay.
And yeah, and he was asking for his certificate. I don't know. He said when the one that they sent via post office, he didn't receive. So maybe you have anything about that? Maybe you can come with us.
I haven't heard anything about it. But I haven't checked emails today. He's going to be too late for me to bring it. We're just not going to be able to print it because that's all printed by Eric in Canada and I'm in Texas and I'm leaving in 2 days. So
it's okay.
Okay. But thank you for bringing that up and we'll make a note. Could you just send a nice little email to Shelley just asking if where that is or if it's got, if it's got lost or something like that? Would that be possible?
It's okay. I will write an email to Shelley. And now talking of Eric, I understand that Eric got an accident. How is he doing? Because we want to know how he's faring now.
Did he have? I don't know if he had an accident. He's had deaths in the family, and so he's been involved. It's. I mean, Eric's not been well, which is different from not having an accident, right? So he hasn't been well. But he's doing okay. There's been nothing right now, but the big thing was parents are ill and mother died just recently.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
So there's been a lot of stuff, and he's been out. It's been very difficult to get hold of Eric. And I just looking at the picture here, and he's getting pulled in more and more directions, which is a challenge for us.
Okay, because I saw that on Facebook. I think someone had posted on Facebook that he got an accident.
Then you may be more up to date. I stay off Facebook, and the reason I stay off Facebook is not because I don't love you guys, but when I was going into China, the first place they look to see what you're doing is Facebook. And I don't like to want to have ramen noodles for the rest of my life in some Chinese prison, right? So that's why I stay off. Okay, I mean that's why I'm just not on Facebook. I stay away from it. So and then I know it leaves me out. Shelley always tells me, "Have you checked this? Have you checked that?" And I say, "No, I haven't." So, okay. Anything else anybody had? Excellent.
I'd like to ask you guys to pray for me. I have a very, very bad back and I have muscular dystrophy. And you can see that I'm sitting in my wheelchair and my pain level has been excruciating for the last 3 weeks. And I fell again yesterday. And I've had 2 serious surgeries on my back in the last 4 years. And there's nothing more the doctors can do. They said I just have to live with this pain until I'm gone. But it makes it very difficult for me to keep any kind of a work schedule. And I'd appreciate prayers when God brings me to mind.
We'll do that. We'll do that. We'll do that.
Yeah, thank you.
I will do that. Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll pray for you, Michael.
We'll be praying for you, Michael.
Samuel, will
Thank you, Samuel.
Well, maybe I think it looks like Julian is frozen. So I think what we can do is maybe if someone would like to end off, maybe Abraham, I can ask you to pray for us and just end off today. Maybe if we can just remember Michael as well. And then we can say good evening or good day or good morning, wherever you are, for all of us. Thanks, Abraham. I appreciate that.
Okay, let us pray. We pray. Father, in the mighty name of our Lord Jesus Christ, we want to thank you because of this wonderful time. Thank you, Lord, because of your kind love that you have been with us since the beginning of this meeting until this time that we come to an end. Lord, I want to thank you because of our brothers that we've gathered here today, and whatever we've discussed, all the agendas that we've discussed in this meeting, that each and everything that we do, it's for your own glory. Lord, I want to pray for Brother Michael, who is not feeling well. He's been having a pocket for a long time that has been disturbing him. Lord, you know the pain that he's going through. I want to pray that you may heal him in a mighty way. Lord, help him even at his old age. I want to pray that you may be with him, be with his family, Lord. I want to pray that you may continue using him, ministering as he walks for the benefit of our means program. I want to pray that you may be with him. Lord, I want to pray even for Eric and his family. I do pray for him that you may be with him, Lord. We understand that there are a lot of things that he's going through. I want to pray that you may be with him and his family as well. Lord, you know, even Dr. Zach, as he's planning to travel beginning next week, I do pray that you may give him journey mercies all the way from US as he fly to Uganda and also to Kenya. I pray that you may give him journey mercies. Lord, I pray for our brothers, wherever they are, be with them. Our ministry fraternity, I pray that you may guide us and lead us in each and everything. For I pray this trusting and believing in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, guys. Have a fantastic day further, and we will be chatting soon. And look out for those emails. We'll be sending them.
Hey, and send those lovely pictures of you, please.
Okay.
Abraham, I need a new one. You look like a mob boss in the one you have.
Okay, I will do so. I will do so, Michael.
All right. Jack, why don't you just set up a new meeting and we'll talk, okay?
Okay, I'll do that.
Right. Goodbye, gentlemen.
Goodbye.
It's okay. I wanted to show you my wife, but she's gone. So I just want to wave to her, but she's in the kitchen busy there.
Well, maybe next time.
It's okay.
God bless. Bye-bye.
God bless you. Bye-bye.